I want you to picture something with me. So imagine if I had a gun pointed straight to your head and I told you to swim a 50 freestyle as fast as you could go, giving it everything you got, or else I'd shoot you. How fast do you think you'd be able to go? So let's say, for example, that you swim this 50 in around 30 seconds, which is a really respectable time. Great job, I don't shoot you, you get to live. Now say, for example, if I told you to swim that exact same 50 with the exact same intensity, but this time you couldn't use your legs, how fast do you think you'd be able to go? So when it comes to swimming our freestyle, about 80% of our propulsion comes from our upper body, arms, shoulders, chest, and the remaining 20% actually comes from your kick. So if you were to swim this exact same 50 at the exact same intensity with no legs, you'd end up at around 36 seconds, which is a huge difference over 2 to 3 body lengths. And in a race, if you were to swim 6 seconds slower, you'd be coming dead last. So this really just goes to show the importance of having a strong, solid freestyle kick when it comes to swimming your freestyle. So what is the role of your freestyle kick? Well, there are 2 main roles. The first one is really obvious, which is to help generate forwards momentum. So the faster and harder you kick, the quicker you're going to go forwards. Really simple. The second role of your freestyle kick is something that's actually really overlooked, and it's to maintain balance in your stroke. So as you can imagine, if you were just to swim with your upper body, using your arms, and not use your legs at all, your legs would not only sink to the bottom of the pool, but they would also be moving side to side a lot. So this is going to create lots of vertical and horizontal drag and resistance in the water, which is something that we don't want. So you'll have no chance of swimming the 50 comfortably if this is the case and you're not kicking properly. So this is why we need to kick. It's not only going to make sure our legs are close together, reducing horizontal displacement, but also making sure that they're in line with the rest of our body and making us more streamlined, which is going to reduce our vertical displacement. So now that we know what the freestyle kick is and what purpose it serves, how do we actually do a freestyle kick? Well, there are 2 distinct phases, the upsweep and the downsweep, and these are both alternating actions. So what I mean by that is if your left leg is downsweeping, your right leg is going to be upsweeping, and if your right leg is downsweeping, your left leg is going to be upsweeping. So it's an alternating kicking motion. They're never going to have both legs downsweeping or both legs upsweeping like in butterfly or breaststroke. Hey guys, so before we get started, if you've ever wondered why you're not swimming faster or you're not improving, I've opened up my own 5-hour program where I analyze and break down your technique. So if you're looking for a specific analysis with tailored advice and drills on how you can improve, you can register in the description below. You'll also get the opportunity to hop on call with me for an even more detailed breakdown of your technique with a month-long training program included to help you achieve your goals no matter what your fitness levels may be. So your freestyle kick actually begins with your down sweep. So starting from the core, then making its way down through the hips, knees, and ankles. So this is where you're gonna wanna push down into the water with your leg extended straight, toes pointed, and ankles relaxed. So there should be a slight bend in your leg. You don't want your leg to be completely stiff and rigid like a plank of wood, because obviously there's gonna be no propulsion from that. But at the same time, you don't want it to be completely bent, because that's going to create too much frontal drag, slowing you down massively. So your kick should feel tight and compact with a slight bend at the knee at around 60 degrees. So 60 degrees is around the optimal angle that we want to be at. So the upsweep is used to recover your leg while also generating some propulsion. So similar to what we discussed in the downsweep, you want your leg extended, toes pointed, and ankles relaxed. However, the biggest difference here is that you don't want to bend your knee. You want your entire leg to be as straight and as rigid as possible. This is just to prepare your leg to be in a position where it can be easily whipped down in the down kick. And the quickest way to get it in this position is if it's straight and rigid, because it's easy to just push up then. So now that we've talked about why we kick and how we kick, what separates an average kick from a great kick? And funnily enough, this all comes down to ankle flexibility, something that's so easy to just overlook. So just like we talked about before, your freestyle kick should be tight and compact with around the 60-degree knee bend. and your ankles should also be as relaxed as possible. Now, when it comes to ankle flexibility, this is going to do two things. The first, it's going to help you push more water down with more force, and the second, it's going to reduce drag. So let's illustrate this with an example. So over here we have a swimmer with really inflexible ankles. We can see this because it pretty much looks like a 90-degree angle over there. There's no ankle flexibility at all. So yes, when he does his downsweep in his kick, he's going to be able to push some water down, but the surface area that he's able to do that with is going to be really small. So pretty much just his ankle joint. And also, because his ankles are so inflexible, his feet are acting like a sort of parachute, just catching water as he tries to swim further, which he's probably not going to get very far with. So you can imagine not much surface area to push the water down and lots of drag and resistance. Not very ideal. On the other hand, over here we have a swimmer who has done ankle flexibility exercises, and we can see that the surface area that they're able to push water down with is so much greater than our previous swimmer over here. So compare this surface area to this surface area over here, and you're able to push down more water with more force. Also, there is absolutely no drag and resistance. His feet are in line with the rest of his leg, allowing the water to just pass through nice and smoothly. So this is what you want, and this is why having flexible ankles is really important. So here are 4 exercises you can do to improve your ankle flexibility. So these should be done around 3 times a week and shouldn't take longer than 15 minutes for each session. So we're going to start with ankle sits. So all you're going to do is just start in a kneeling position, sitting down on your ankles. And all you're going to do now is just lean back until you can feel the stretch in your ankles. So do this for as long as you feel like. You can either lean back on your hands or your elbows. The next exercise is toe walks. All you're going to do is stand on the balls of your feet, which is the area underneath your toes, and walk 10 steps forwards and then 10 steps backwards. Repeat this as many times as desired. Next up, we have ankle circles. So stand on one leg. This is going to also help with your balance, and rotate your ankle 10 times in one direction and then 10 times in the other. Make sure to take your time with this and get as much range of motion as possible. And finally, we have a kneeling ankle lunge. So just start in a lunge position and have your front foot completely vertical with your toes in contact with the ground. Then lean forwards and hold the position for as long as possible. I'm not really flexible, so this one was quite hard for me.